What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the LTXtreme shooter drone. This is a remote control quadcopter that shoots little discs automatically from the sky, which is pretty cool. Spoiler, this is a super gimmicky, fun little product, totally not a normal Nerf review, but let's get into it. Included is the drone itself fully assembled, remote control, disc ammo, charging cable, extra propellers, and the instructions. External overview of the drone, starting up at the front, no in-strike barrel. I'm just kidding. This is a weird review. I don't even know where to start for a drone. In all seriousness, this is a quadcopter, so it has 4 propellers, and it has this very weak plastic all the way around it, which acts as a propeller cage, so when you bang into a wall, like I have repeatedly, it doesn't smash your propellers and crash. It just gently bumps off the drywall and continues hovering. The material has a print, so it kind of looks like carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber, it's just cheap plastic, but it's thin, lightweight, and flexible. The flexible plastic protects the propellers from most crashes, like into a wall and whatnot, but if you get this really close to a person and you tilt real fast, you could potentially hit them with a propeller, so this isn't really safe to fly like at people. Not totally safe, relatively safe, but not totally safe. It's not supposed to be the projectile itself, it shoots. On the bottom it has 4 little feet so it can land on a flat surface fairly easily, and down here it has the charging input. It includes a rechargeable battery pack, so you plug in the USB cord into that and then into your wall, and it has an indicator light to let you know if it's charging or it's already charged and ready to go. And down here we have the on-off switch. The age range is 8 and up, and it totally makes sense. A kid could totally fly this and not crash it. It's very easy to use, to figure out, to fly, to recharge, and to maintain. Moving on to the coolest portion of this unit, the blaster. So the top part of the drone right here is the blaster itself. It doesn't fire Nerf darts, it fires these little discs. To load, you open the little latch right here, and then drop in your discs. The capacity is 10 discs. It comes with 20. And after you put them in, you shut the little latch and you're ready to go. And that's the overview of the quadcopter or the drone unit itself. Now to the remote. First we have an on-off switch. This has an auto pairing system, so I didn't have to pair it. It wasn't difficult at all. I just turned on the drone and the remote and it found itself. So very easy. You don't have to be an RC nerd at all. I used to be into RC, now I'm not at all, and I figured it out in just a couple minutes. Up on the right-hand side of the remote, we have the firing trigger. This is a flywheel-powered blaster, but there's no rev trigger and firing trigger. You just push this and it fires off. And it works as semi-auto, so if you just tap it, you can fire one at a time or hold it and it just shoots slowly in full auto. So we have the on-off switch and an indicator light to let you know if you're connected and ready to fly. And below that, we have an auto takeoff and an auto land, which is really cool considering the price point of this product. Launching the quadcopter and landing the quadcopter, from my quadcopter experience, is the hardest part and the most likely to screw up and like break the thing. So it's really great. You just push this once and it automatically takes off. Then the joysticks work much like other quadcopter joysticks. So you have elevation control, and then you can also spin the drone and then also bank, which will make more sense in the user demo. And these buttons up here change the sensitivity, so if you're learning, you can turn it down a little bit so it's a bit more sluggish but more safe. And then as you get good, you can go up a few levels to increase your speed and agility just a little bit, which I think is a great feature, so it's not going full speed right away because then you might crash and break it. And the little buttons next to the joystick are your trim settings to adjust the sort of the default setting. I don't know how to describe trim. I'm not an RC guy, I'm a Nerf guy, I don't know. And in the back of the remote, you have your battery door. Batteries were included and already installed with this product. It was ready to go right out of the box, which I think is great since I think most people are going to buy these as gifts, so it's really fast to get this up and running. That's the overview of the remote. So you turn both on, you can use the auto launch button, it goes up, hovers, and then you fly around and shoot. I'll show you the usage demo. Land button. Land button. automatically do it. Okay, damage tests. Might regret this. Oh no! Nothing broke. The latch just opened so the ammo dumped out, but it works. Operating this blaster, or this... not a blaster. Operating this product is not like operating any other Nerf gun out there, because it's not just a Nerf gun, it's a freaking quadcopter. But I must say, it is really, really easy to fly and easy to not crash. Now, I've had 2 DJI drones in the past, and both of those were way faster, way more agile, but they're $1,000. This was less than $100. So it's kind of unfair to compare the two, but I was really impressed with how easy this blaster... It's not a freaking blaster! But I was really impressed with how easy this product is to fly. And the cage around the propellers, at first I thought, well, that's just silly. It kind of looks strange, but I think it's really great for indoor flight. Without the guard, if you lightly bump into drywall and your propeller smashes into drywall, that propeller is going to snap and you're going to crash the vehicle. This little cage lets you gently bump into stuff and kind of coast around a house, which is pretty cool for a toy-grade drone like this. And the product is so lightweight. I crashed it a number of times, but it's so light that it doesn't have enough mass to actually break itself. Granted, I'm flying indoors less than 15 feet high, so that the fall wasn't that great. So the overall flight mechanics were definitely impressive given the price point. However, the flight time is only 5 to 7 minutes, and after 5 minutes I had noticeably less power, so I couldn't really take off. My altitude dropped significantly. Given the price and the size of the battery, that makes sense, and I think that's what you should expect. I don't think it's reasonable to expect a 30-minute battery out of a toy that's less than $100, but that's definitely something to take note of. If you're a competitive Nerfer and you actually want to use this to shoot at people, having a 5-minute timer is kind of a bummer. But for what it is, and kind of being a gimmicky aerial toy to shoot these little discs just to goof around for a couple minutes, I think it's reasonable. So 5 to 7 minutes is not a lot of time at all, but if you've never flown a quadcopter, 5 minutes feels like a lot longer when your eyeballs are on this thing trying not to break it and keeping it afloat. If you've done any aerial remote control, you might know what I'm talking about. When your eyes are on something trying to not let it fall out of the sky, timed is a little different. So I used a timer to record my time, but it felt more like 10 or 15 minutes. It was just 5 to 7 minutes. But that's pretty consistent for all aerial RC, so you know that it's no different for this product. Now to the blaster unit itself, discs are super temperamental, so if you shoot it at an angle, it's gonna ramp off at an angle. So I found it pretty difficult to hit what I was shooting at, and if the target was further than 10 feet, I had almost no chance of a hit. But to be fair, I don't think this is a realistic product to actually use in a Nerf battle. It's supposed to be a gimmicky, fun little toy, and at that roll, it was a lot of fun. I think shooting discs makes sense. These things are so lightweight, so you have a 10-round capacity. 10 darts would be pretty much as heavy as this whole thing. Not really, but these discs are super light, so I totally get why they went with discs instead of darts. So I didn't have any jams or malfunctions, for whatever that's worth. I don't know what a drone malfunction would look like other than a crash. And it didn't crash on its own. I did crash it a couple times, but it was because I got kind of bored and wanted to try to get real close to stuff, and eventually that means I bang into stuff. But I think everybody with an RC toy does the same thing. You just get bored and eventually you break it. It's just a matter of time. And in case you do break your propellers, they include 4 additional propellers, so it would take quite a few wrecks to completely destroy all of these props. And replacing them is fairly easy. They're just held in by a single screw, so you can switch them out if you happen to break something. But with this guard, you'd have to do something pretty extreme to break one of these propellers. So I guess that's the objective information I can provide on this product. Now to my personal opinion, overall for what it's trying to do, I think it does a pretty good job. However, I would not compare this to an actual Nerf product. I would never actually use this in a real Nerf war. The 5 to 7 minute flight time is so low that I don't think I could practically use it in a Nerf war. It would be really difficult to drop in, actually shoot somebody, and to get away. And you have to get pretty close to somebody to actually hit them, so they could reach out and just swat the thing out of the air with their hand, and then you're out, $70. So to use in an actual Nerf war, I don't recommend it at all. If you're a competitive Nerfer, this isn't the right thing for you at all. But as a gimmicky toy to burn some time and have fun outside of Nerf, it's a lot of fun. I'm really impressed with how easy it is to fly. How the auto takeoff and auto land button is awesome. That's when I would crash my DJI drones the most. It's fairly stable floating around, so it's easy to control, and you don't have to panic about always stabilizing. And it's so easy to use. You just turn it on, it auto pairs. You don't have to download an app. You don't have to do anything complicated. It's just so simple. It's a great toy grade product. I wouldn't compare this to a racing drone or a DJI camera drone. That's a totally different league. But for less than $100, I'm pretty impressed with it. To buy or not to buy as a quadcopter your plinking toy. I'm not a quadcopter guy. I'm not an RC guy. I can't really give you a buy recommendation. I just don't know enough about all of the other quadcopters on the market to know if this is a high quality product compared to all of the others. But I can say I enjoy playing with it. $70 for 5-minute flight time, I don't know if that's worthwhile. You might get bored with it after just a couple uses and never use it again. It's kind of one of those gimmicky products. So that's kind of a scrambled opinion, but hopefully I laid out all the information, and hopefully the usage demo kind of lets you know if this is something that you want to purchase. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll put a buy link in the description box below. That's it for this kind of a wacky video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.